going to be able to make it out to the gardens today, so I figured I'd do a live. Um, my wife went to go get some materials for my daughter. She's got softball, all-star softball. She made the all-star team, so she had to go get a chin strap all the way in Tallahassee because there was none here. Um, anyway, but I figured I would do a live and chat with you about some gardening things. So when people come, we'll see. See, this is I miss my gardens when I can't get into my gardens. But anyway, this live stuff is interesting. Last time I did it, I got a bunch of people from all over the country. But then something happened. I think I got a phone call or something, and it just killed the whole stream. So, but we did get into a cool discussion about plants and such. So, those of you who don't know me, by the way, I'm Josh. I am the dad on the Family Dream Life channel. We're not popular. It's not like you know us, probably. Um, but that's me. I'm a softball daughter dad. My son's a gamer, and I love to spend time in the gardens. Uh, so that's more what I do. So in my gardens right now, we've got a lot of things that are going pretty good, and we got some things that aren't. Um, there were a couple experiments that I tried from some garden hack style YouTube videos, and those experiences did not work out. So you can check out what happened in full, on the YouTube channel, my last video. Um, but I can give you a quick rundown. So, I one of the first videos that I had seen after I started growing my tomatoes this year was one that said you have to trim your tomato leaves all the way up to pretty much to the top, to the first layer of fruit. So I gave that a shot, which I should know because I've known better. So I've grown tomatoes for a long time, and all I really ever trim is the suckers. And if there are some low hanging leaves that aren't doing well, I might take those off just if they look diseased or if they're touching the ground. Otherwise, if the leaf looks healthy, I typically leave it there. But anyway, I decided to follow this YouTube video because it said you would get more fruit. And what happened was I got these spots on my tomato plants. I think it was some kind of sunburn, not necessarily the plants, the fruit. And most of the fruit that was on them went bad. The ones that have not gone bad yet are very slow to ripen, and I haven't gotten any new fruit. So that was a hack that I really shouldn't have tried. The other one, I saw a few videos saying that sunflowers have to be direct sown. You can't sow them in little pots and put them in the ground, but my experience has said that's not true at all. So, hey, I see new people are joining. That's awesome. Um, but anyway, it's an interesting comment. Um, Anyway, the video said that if you took a seedling that was grown in a seed tray, a sunflower seedling that was grown in a seed tray, and you planted it right next to a seed, the sunflower that was a seed would quickly outgrow the one grown in the seed tray just because it was direct sown in the ground. So I gave that a shot, and that's not really what happened. I wish I was in the garden. I'd show you right now, but there's a video on my channel if you want to go check it out. Um, but what ended up happening is the ones that were direct sown, a lot of them didn't take. The ones that did take have been very slow to grow. Um, the ones that were sown in seed trays, they did pretty well. I was pretty excited about how that went. Um, so they are 3 or 4 times the size, the ones that were sown in the ground. And finally, another mistake I made in the garden this year was for some reason I planted my pepper plants right next to water loving crops. And don't get me wrong, you need to water your pepper plants. But I planted them right next to water loving crops, which ended up with me overwatering my peppers. And that was not good because it makes the peppers taste watery and the plants just don't look very healthy. So, um, those were some mistakes I've made this year. And then I have some good things going in the garden too. Um, right now we've got strawberries going wild. Our cucumbers and watermelons are doing great. Really wish I could show you these plants today, but I will tomorrow. I should be able to make it out there during daylight hours tomorrow uh, to show you what's going on. But we have some watermelons coming on the vine. We have some squash coming on the vine, and cucumbers are just blowing up. I've picked all the strawberries off of my strawberry plants. I did not let them ripen because it's their first year. And one of the things that I've learned is when you grow strawberry plants, you don't want to let them fruit the first year. You want to let them put all of their energy in creating that strong root base that'll support them over time. So you take off all the fruits and you let them really focus on creating a good root base. And luckily for me, I have some everbearing varieties. So maybe later in the year, maybe I'll wait till fall to let them really start producing fruit. By then, they'll have good foot in the ground, and they'll be able to produce delicious stuff. So if you're planting strawberries, remember, click the early berries. Um, you want to protect those plants. What else do we have going on? Oh, my cotton candy cherry tree. So cotton candy cherry, also known as the strawberry tree because the flowers of the fruit look like strawberry flowers, um, is, and the scientific name, if I'm not mistaken, is Motinga or Motingia. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, this is a cherry or a berry. It's not necessarily a cherry. It's a very small berry, about that big, just kind of like a cherry. And when you eat it, it's supposed to taste like cotton candy. I personally couldn't tell you. I've never tried it, but I've been intrigued by it ever since I've heard of it. So I purchased a tree, and a couple times I thought the tree was going to die. I let it stay out in the cold. That was bad. It's not a cold weather loving tree. Um, and then we've had some watering issues. But this year, it seems to have started to blow up, and I may actually get fruit on it. I saw a flower on it the other day, and I will say the flower does look exactly like a strawberry flower. Uh, but I saw a flower on it the other day, which means I should be getting fruit soon. Um, anyway, I see there's people here. If you have any questions, please feel free to say hi. Oliver P., nice to see you. Ella Odell, hey. Nice to meet you, or nice to see you guys here. Um, right now we're talking about the cotton candy cherry tree. Wonder if either one of you have ever tried a cotton candy cherry, but what it is it's a tropical tree that puts off a small berry uh, that's supposed to taste like cotton candy. Does it really? I'm not sure, but we'll find out. Um, the tree I have hasn't done well over the time, but right now it's doing very well. So hopefully we get some fruit this year. I'm not necessarily in the zone to grow it, but uh, we've been able to keep it alive. So what else do we have going? Oh, on my watermelon plants recently, I ended up getting powdery mildew, which nobody wants powdery mildew on their watermelon leaves because it can mess up the quality and quantity of fruit you get from the plant. So I did the milk and water method. So if you ever get powdery mildew on any of your melons, your cucumbers, things like that, um, then you want to mix 1 part milk with 2 part water, spray it on the plant, heavily. Get them good and wet with it, and it'll kill it. Just treat them about once a week till the mildew's gone, and then after the mildew is gone, you want to treat them about once every 2 weeks to keep it away. And Crispy James says, "Are chickens considered animals or birds?" Um, I think birds are considered animals, so they'd probably be both. But I like to think of them as little raptors. I had some chickens of my own, and they are crazy little animals. Um, we'll actually be doing chickens too this year, later in the year. It's too hot here to introduce new chickens to a new home. But later in the year, we'll be raising 70 chickens. So that's going to be a first time adventure. We've had 12 at a time as egg layers, but we've never raised 70. So that's going to be exciting. Um, Follow the channel, see how it goes. Hopefully, it goes well. Um, what else do we have? Oh, sunflowers. My sunflowers are doing so well. I've got an American Giant version that's supposed to get 16 feet tall. Could you imagine a 16-foot tall sunflower? I'm really excited about those too because I've been looking online. One of my favorite people to follow is Epic Gardener, and he grilled a sunflower head. he cut the head off before the seeds became, hard. He got it premature. And he threw the thing on the grill with some olive oil and some seasoning, and that thing looked delicious. I couldn't believe it was a cooked sunflower. Uh, call it a sunflower steak. But I'm going to have to try that myself. So I'm real excited about the American Giants I have. They're going to be 16-foot tall stalks, and the head on the thing should be bigger than my head. And as you can see, it's a pretty big one. So pretty excited about that. Anyway, looks like the family just got home. We're going to have to get ready to go softball with the kiddos. Thanks for hanging out. Keep growing, my friends.